Alright everybody, so I've had to redo this video about 3 times now because I've been at such a loss of words as to what to say. But EVO Online, the online event for EVO 2020 has just been canceled. And I don't mean canceled in the way that a celebrity gets canceled. I mean genuinely canceled. It is over. It's gone. So where to start? We'll start with the tweet. So sit back because this is going to be a very long read. And I'll do my best to read it with some enthusiasm, but it's a long one. So here we go. A person by the name of Mikey Crackporn. Okay, well, hello. At Pyron Ikari. Tweeted out this tweet, and I shouldn't laugh because this is kind of a fucked up story. I want to pretend sis with 2 things. The wave of these stories coming out bothered me a lot because, well, it happened to me as well. Seeing all these people put themselves out there made me feel like I should tell others what happened to me. Also, while the extent of it is different, I know it happened to a lot of people as well in other groups. The other thing is, I also know I'm not perfect, and there are stories of my own wrongdoings in the past, of which I know I made mistakes, and while I can never take them back and have tried my best to grow from it, and I'm still doing everything I can to make amends for it. Growing up in the 80s and 90s and frequenting arcades, it was definitely a very boys club type environment. The guys at the arcade were exactly what you think of teens to you young adult males. We were vulgar as hell, and were definitely misogynistic. We used language that we, well, most of us, know now is wrong. It was 1992, and when I started going to Southern Hills Golfland, I don't know what that is, I was 9 years old. I've told the story of my first time going a number of times to see Champions Edition for the first time. That's a lot of times. Seeing a ton of people playing it, multiple machines. While I went, I didn't actually join the club until my brother started working there. This was in 97. I remember SF and MSH coming, and my bro telling me about the Mecha Zeef code. The top players became more than just amazing players I played against, but people that started talking to me as they knew me as my brother's little brother. I made a bunch of friends there, with a lot of the locals around this time. Token Boy, the older black gentleman that played SNK games all the time. The big Asian guy that would later become a shooting victim at the arcade. All the workers, and a number of people who in the future be pillars of the FGC. Vale, Watson, Ghetto D, Ingram, Mr. Wizard, Flipmang, I don't know how you say that, James Chen, Viscant, and so many other people I considered friends. And while people shit on each other, as we all did really stupid shit, everyone seemed to be friends that cared. So let's take a step back from here. I was born in 83. I was the baby of this group. Everyone was 5 to 10 years older than me, and I looked up at every single one of them. And I would try to join in and be part of the boys' talk about sex and women and all. It wasn't hazing, but a lot of the old boys club would often have us do stupid shit just for laughs, and they'd give us tokens or buy food for us if we'd be willing to do whatever stupid thing it was. Most of it was genuinely harmless, scream, something dumb or really loud, shit along those lines. Wizard was especially into this. He would pay people hundreds of tokens to do things like take off their clothes and jump in the water hazard pools for a certain amount of times. 99% of the time, it was young boys. There is only a singular instance I know of where it wasn't a young boy. In that singular instance, she was allowed to do it in the future, in whatever clothes she liked and only for a few seconds. But all of the boys, out of recollection, 12 to 6, it was like 10-15 minutes. We had to be in our underwear, under the reasoning that it would be colder. And there were always challenges at the time, so we couldn't prepare changes of clothes, towels, anything like that. We were teenagers with no money, and 100 to 200 tokens, 20 to 40 bucks worth of tokens, which was a lot. So almost all of us did it without a second thought. Jump in a pool for 10 minutes for 40 bucks? Hell yeah! We never really thought of it as a predatory way. From here, I have to jump into a side story to jump into the context of this. At SHGL, the male bathroom had one stall, and directly next to the wall was a urinal. Someone drilled a peephole into the stall, so that while sitting in the stall, they could see people using the urinal. Workers found this and put a screw in the hole, So, during a group conversation, a few weeks before B5, either late August or early September of 2001, someone asked about the screw, and one of the workers explained that. In the group, someone made a joke about how it's mostly Asian people, even if you were gay. Why do you want to look at a bunch of tiny penises? And me, being who I am, who love to research into these things that are common myths and ideas about, that's not true. Asians on average are as big as any other race when erect. The average male penis is 5 1/4 inches when erect. Yikes. Again, if you knew me back then, this is 100% on brand for me to say, even though I was only 17 at the time, around a bunch of guys 5 to 10 years older than me. So Wizard took a stab at me by saying, "So you're saying you're average?" I proclaimed back, "I'm above average." Because of course, I've measured when looking this up, because I'm a teenager, and wondered how I'd compare. Wizard said, "I bet you're not. I bet you $20 you're not." And so a bet was made. He later made stipulations that he'd have to see it in person, and I argued, how the hell am I going to be able to randomly get erect for you to see? So I brought a bunch of porn to SHGL, went into the bathroom stall, while he waited outside the bathroom stall for me to call him in. It wasn't an easy task to get erected, and when I did take out the ruler, unlock the stall door, and call him in, I instantly got flaccid as soon as he opened the stall door. I stared at the ruler, and the thought in my head was like, this still better count. It was over 5 1/4 inch by the time he opened the stall door. Sorry I'm laughing, but this is just a strange story. He made a joke about it. "Man, you shrank hella fast," and gave me $20. I thought it was so awesome. Proved my penis was above average in size as a little Asian kid. For reference, I was 5'5", 105 pounds at the time. I definitely had a size complex, so this was kind of a big deal to me. None of this really registered to me until many, many years later. People were talking about bets they've won and things they did, so I told this story. Viscant laughed, and I remembered the exact words. "You got $20 to give Wizard a night of jerk-off material?" I was like, huh? Viscant goes, "You didn't know? Joey's gay." It suddenly all came together. The pool stuff, the bet, and everything else all kind of came together. A few others were like, "Yeah man, you didn't know?" Before you ask, it didn't leave any kind of weird trauma or anything. I always had a bunch of issues, but I didn't let it bother me. There was so much stuff occupying my head constantly that kind of took the space of this bothering me. Also, fighting games in the community are just what stopped me from suicide a few years prior to this, so I kind of just pushed it aside and laughed it off. Ignored the pretense of it all and just focused on it was just a dumb joke bet a bunch of us guys made, because guys make stupid fucking bets. The same way people bet $20 to drink 12 of the maple syrup shot things they give at Roscoe's. I think I said that right. Or the $50 someone bet me that I couldn't eat 4 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts. In those cases, I totally won. And even if I got the $20, I'll still take the L on this one. I'm not saying it had no influence on me, because it did. But there's no underlying serious trauma or anything. But this is what happened to me nearly 19 years ago. I recognized how stupid I was in this situation for not realizing it, even though I also recognize how it's not my fault for not being able to recognize it. I'm not looking for anything on my end. I just really want to state that. Similar is happening right now to both men and women. Many of them are sharing their stories, and I hope you take the time to read them, even if some of them get really difficult to read. Recognize these people and their pain, and understand this is happening in our community. Not only believe them, do something to help their situation and prevent things like this from happening in our community again. I also don't want people to only care about their sexual abuse. Racism, transphobia, homophobia, and so many other issues are still blatantly in the community. Keep your friends in check, and if they don't, maybe you need to reconsider them as friends. There's a ton of you on Twitter screaming for change. BLM, how we need to help disabled and trans folk, when it's your good friend that is the subject matter as causing discrimination. I've personally had threats against me for outing misogyny and homophobia, so it's kind of shitty to see a lot of people shouting for change right now. Act like good friends to those people. Be better people. We aren't perfect, and all of us fuck up, but strive to be better. A little preachy there at the end, but... So, if you didn't really follow along with what I was reading, Joey, Cuellar, that's how you say his name, was very predatory against a 17-year-old boy and paid him $20 to see his dick. As well as paying children to get nude and jump into a hazard pool. Well, near nude. So as you can probably expect, people weren't too happy about this, especially as Joey Cuellar is the big dude over at Evo. So he put out a tweet while under fire that says, "I'm sorry, I never meant to hurt anyone. I was young and reckless and did things I'm not proud of. I've been growing and maturing over the past 20 years, but that doesn't excuse anything. All I've been trying to do is become a better person. Once again, I'm truly sorry." So, if there was doubt over this random twit longer post, right, about the accusations in it, Joey just confirmed them by saying that. So, what was previously an accusation was now turned fact by Joey himself. And people were pissed off at him before, but both Netherrealms, known for Mortal Kombat, and Capcom, known for Street Fighter of course, both dropped from Evo Online. Alongside that, Sonic Fox dropped from it, refusing to compete, and yeah, it really went downhill. So, on the Evo Twitter, they released this message. "We are aware of the accusations that have been made against Joey Cuellar. The behavior of these accusations runs directly counter to Evo's mission of building a safe, welcoming environment for all of our players and attendees. We take this responsibility seriously. Accordingly, Joey has been placed on administrative leave pending a third-party investigation. Please direct event inquiries to Evo inquiries, blah 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 online." And then, shortly after, Evo, again, put out a message. "Over the past 24 hours in response to serious allegations made recently public on Twitter, we have made the first in a series of important decisions regarding the future of our company. Effective immediately, Joey Cuellar will no longer be involved with Evo in any capacity. We are currently working towards his complete separation from the company and have relieved him of all his responsibilities. Going forward, Tony Cannon will act as CEO in his position. He will take a leadership role in prioritizing greater accountability across Evo, both internally and at our events. Progress doesn't happen overnight, or without the bravery of those who speak up against misconduct and injustice. We are shocked and saddened by these events, but we are listening and committed to making every change that will be necessary in making Evo a better model for the stronger, safer culture that we seek. As a result, we will be canceling Evo Online and will work to issue refunds to all players who chose to purchase the badge. We will donate the equivalent of all the proceeds as promised to Project Hope." So, as I said at the beginning, Evo Online is canceled. An already dwindling community, the FGC. Maybe I shouldn't say dwindling, but it's a hard time for them right now. And Evo was the place where everybody was going to get together and just play some shit. I had a friend who signed up for the Skullgirls Evo slot. And fucking hell. Skullgirls is a cursed game, dude. Mike Z has cancellation attempted on him twice, and then his game gets dropped from Evo, as long as every game in Evo. Fuck, dude. Poor Mike Z. I think Sonic Fox, of all people, really said it the best. So I'll quote him on this. "This is just me, but people who've been ignorant or have said some whack shit, who are showing reform and willing to be better, are people I'm willing to let back into a community. Not a predator. You deadass violated someone. I don't ever want to see you be referenced near me again." I think he says it best. Joey Cuellar is a fucking predator. Keep him away from everybody in this community. There's no defending him. So this is the part where I'm going to give my full opinion. If you don't want to see it, you can turn off the video. So in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be too controversial. Joey Cuellar is, I'm 95% sure positive he is a pedophile and a predator. There is a 5% chance that he just did do it as a joke, but 5% chance versus 95% chance, that's just the baseline doubt you give anything, even if you have factual information. That's it. Joey Cuellar, pretty sure he's a fucking predator. I'm glad he's fucking gone. I'm glad that people don't have to put up with him anymore. Who knows who else he did this shit to. It's fucking disturbing. But there's a bigger thing here that people aren't seeing. They're seeing Evo, and really people are seeing a Predator and justice being done on the Predator. But what they're not seeing is Evo 2010 being completely canceled, and that being a huge hit to the FGC community. It's fucked, you know. It's a bad time for fighting games right now. With the coronavirus, can't play locals. Most fighting games have shitty online. Thank you, Mike Z, for making Skullgirls. It's fucking... How are we gonna do competitions? With the COVID, we had Evo online, now it's fucked up. I don't know. It's not, and I won't stand up here and act like I'm the biggest FGC supporter or anything even close to that. I love fighting games. I watch a lot of the competitions and stuff like that, but you know, as far as being like an active member in that community, not ever. I've never really been a part of that, besides just making these videos. And that's arguable as to if that's beneficial. I hope they're beneficial. The reason I'm making these videos is to be beneficial. But it's and the person that gave me all the information on this stuff, he is an active tournament goer. He wanted to participate in Evo Online. He loves fighting games. He's been a part of that community for the past 7 years of his life. And I feel really bad for him. Like, for me, I don't get to see good-ass people play a cool-ass game, right? For him, it's like, this shit might affect the FGC in the long term. I don't know. Maybe I'll have him on for a conversation on the topic. I'll see if I can get him. But that's yeah. That's all I gotta say on it now. It's rainy outside. It's a dull and dreary moment. So I fuck up my words and fuck up the mood. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider a subscribe. Whatever. Alright. Bye. Head of Evo is a goddamn fireworks. It's not even 4th of July yet. It's the 2nd. It's not 4th of July. Why are they popping off fireworks? Oh yeah, 4th of July. It's not even the 4th of July yet. It's the 2nd. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. God damn. Fireworks and thunder and a motherfucking motorcycle revving up. I thought it was like 9 in the fucking night, not... Well, it was Friday. Makes sense, I guess. But fuck. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Oh, yeah. Getting drunk. I wish. Oh, yeah. God damn. They got thunder. They got fireworks. Sound like some goddamn machine guns. What else they got? A real machine gun? Fucking support automatic weapon up in this bitch. God damn, that's a big mosquito. Ah! That's fucked up my goddamn head. Damn, they got the cannon. Captain Hook came to town.